Thank you for tuning into Unlock Me Today's live event here, where we are conversing with thought leaders, founders, and CEOs about their journey, how they have unlocked their own true potential, and now they are unlocking the true potential of folks around them. Evening, afternoon, and morning, based on where you're from. This is your host, Prashant. And before I get any further, I would like to emphasize on the purpose of this event. We aim to unlock the true potential of folks who are in constrained environments, maybe not able to get enough time to connect to their role models, or maybe unable to break through their extremely preoccupied mundane life, or maybe the internet buzzwords are adding friction to harness positive changes. No matter what the reason may be, there is value in staying towards the end of this event. And without any further ado, let me introduce you to today's guest speaker, Tanya Bhatia, a life and mindset coach. She is truly passionate about helping people realize that difficulties that they face in their life are the result of something they themselves have done unconsciously. She helps folks by recognizing such unconscious patterns so that people can take charge of their lives and not just keep them repeating and inviting misery. She believes that true transformation starts from within, and through her coaching and healing methodologies, she helps people overcome self-doubt, fear, and anxiety. Tanya, welcome to the event. How have you been? How are you doing today?
Top of the world. And I think for the last few days I stopped using it, but just now when you asked me, right, I remember for the last year I started using this in my vocabulary, and I started using it like for 4 months, and I saw a huge shift in my perspective just by usage of this one particular sentence whenever somebody would ask, how are you doing?
Wow.
So
Thank you, Tanya. So, we have the audience here all settled in and tuned in to listen to you talk about confidence and courage. Inhale confidence, exhale self-doubt. So, Tanya, I know you're a mindset coach. Before we get into the weeds, why don't you just let the audience know, can you walk us through a typical coaching journey, what people are asking you, how to build confidence and courage within them? Over to you, Tanya.
yeah, thank you, Prashant. So first doubt that people often have, this is for the benefit of the audience. Thank you, audience, for joining. Truly grateful to each one of you present here. I would like to start with saying that whenever people, they want the support from a coach in terms of a coaching journey, they're definitely looking at improving their confidence and courage. But many a times they don't realize that it is not more about confidence, it is about courage. And when they start on the coaching journey, it is about a longer process. Like, when you want to develop courage, it cannot be developed within a day or two. And it requires a lot of work. So people either invest like almost 6 months into the journey to understand how they can truly develop that sort of courage that they're looking for, either in their personal or professional life. And that happens by breaking the old patterns, old unproductive patterns, and by developing new neural patterns, which can enable them to take decisions in a new way so that they feel more confident and more courageous from inside. So it's like a two-way partnership between them and me as a coach, where I facilitate their journey and I help them realize where they are falling and where they can take charge, right? Because a person is not able to recognize their own blind spots.
Oh, yeah.
So, Prashant, if you ask me, I will not be able to recognize all my blind spots. I would need somebody else to tell me about it.
Yep.
Right.
Just like the swimmers, right? Somebody who is swimming in the waters, he cannot see how his or her legs are doing or hands are doing. Through that. Yep.
Right. And many a times I have seen that when people approach for, improving courage in terms of their future, it also has to do with healing their past. Right? So I firmly believe that you cannot prepare for your future unless you repair your past.
Wow.
And
so how do we find out what needs to be repaired in the past? I have this question.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not the case with everyone that, if 10 people are approaching me for improving their courage and confidence, then everybody needs to work on their past.
Mhm.
But the ratio that I see right now is 8 out of 10 people do need to,
Oh.
right? Um, and many a times it's not about that you have faced a very painful past,
Mhm.
that you'll have to, uncover those memories and heal and integrate those things inside your system.
Mhm.
But it's sometimes about just the unconscious way of operating in life,
Mm.
like the kind of childhood you had, or the kind of friends you had while
Mhm.
growing up, the kind of teachers you had while growing up, or if you were in some different job before, the kind of people you met.
Mhm.
And all of those interactions, if they had any sort of negative influence on you,
Mhm.
that can result in trauma,
Mm.
right? And sometimes it's not very painful also, and people don't recognize that they have traumas. But a trauma is not what happens to you. A
Mm.
trauma is what you take out of that unfavorable situation.
Oh, wow. You have to repeat that. That's very
Right.
powerful. Like, trauma is
Yeah.
not what happens to you. Trauma
Yeah.
is something what you take away from that situation.
From that unfavorable
Unfavorable
situation.
situation. Okay, nice.
Right, right. So if suppose I lose my job,
Mhm.
right, due to XYZ reason,
Mhm.
now, and my friend also loses her job due to XYZ reason.
Mhm.
Now, this is a very unfavorable situation, but if I don't take it too much on myself, and I
Mhm.
don't let it hinder my mind and my life in general,
Mhm.
that means I did not let it overpower me, and it did not impact me much. It will still, because that's an unfavorable situation.
Mhm.
But if I talk about someone else, like suppose my friend,
Mhm.
the same situation, if it happens with her and she takes it very, very personally, like her self esteem goes low and she faces criticism from so many people, and she feels that now, the career is like, nobody's gonna accept her, and people are gonna just say that, oh my god, you lost your job, that means you're not worthy enough, you are not good enough,
Mm.
right? And these could be the unconscious beliefs that will develop inside a person when they face any sort of trauma. Okay, these could be unconscious
Mhm.
beliefs, not conscious ones.
Okay, well.
So many a times people are not able to recognize whether they have a trauma or not,
Mhm.
but it could just exist. And sometimes you just need the support of other person to recognize whether you went through it or not. And uh, actually, everybody, I would say everybody
Mhm.
goes through some sort of trauma in their life every time. Like, because we are like growing up each and every year, each and
Right.
every moment,
Mhm.
we face something and it leaves an impact on us.
I agree to that.
So,
And also,
yeah.
when you just said that we all are facing or experiencing traumas, my question here is that, sometimes we know that we are going or traveling to a situation where there is going to be trauma. For instance, there can be that you are going into a performance evaluation meeting, and you know that your manager is not very happy with you, and you know that the way he or she, your manager, talks to you, it just causes trauma. Like, the words are not encouraging. Sometimes blaming is very direct, and that stays for like days or maybe over the weekend. So anything you want to add, that what can one do when they know they are stepping into a situation where there can be trauma, is going to be insightful.
Got it. Yeah, very, very good question. And I will say very intelligent one here.
Mhm.
Because now that we are becoming aware
Mm.
that any sort of unfavorable situation is not what is trauma, but what you take out of it
Right.
and how much you let it impact you.
Mm.
And now we know that we all are going to face it at some point in our lives. And if we do not
Mm.
heal that, it is going to cause hindrance in our life, maybe not now, but maybe 10 years later.
Ah.
right?
Yeah.
So if we prepare ourselves
Mhm.
and be proactive
Mhm.
in becoming conscious in such situations
Mhm.
and develop a very healthy self-esteem,
Mm.
develop a lot of self-love,
Mm.
and also be in tune with our awareness,
Mm.
rather than thinking that I am this human being, I am this coach, and I have this identity.
Mm.
If I just look at
Mhm.
myself as pure awareness,
Mhm.
so that I can get rid of any sort of past or future,
Mhm.
I can get rid of pain or pleasure.
Mhm. Mhm. I think we lost your voice, Tanya. All right, folks. So Tanya is going to be back very quickly, and she is back.
Yes, I don't know what happened, but
That's okay.
yeah, I'm back.
That's all right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I was saying that, Prashant, now that we are aware that such unfavorable situations can occur anytime,
Mhm.
no matter what our confidence and what our courage is,
Mhm.
it is always a healthy idea to be proactive in solving these situations.
Mm.
And how I can solve the situation is when I know that tomorrow I have this performance evaluation,
Mhm.
and this one person is going to be very nasty and going to speak
Mhm.
those words which I will not like, and
Mhm.
that can, impact my energy.
Mhm.
I am not going to just wait for that moment, that day I'm going to speak positive words to myself. No, that's not going to work.
Oh.
I need to have that sort of some rituals in place in my life already,
Mhm.
so that I can become so prepared that if such situation comes,
Mhm.
it's not going to overpower me.
Wow.
जैसे in Hindi we say ना, हम पहले से तैयारी करते हैं. We have to
Absolutely.
prepare from before.
Prepare. Before you get into
Yeah.
any situation which can be favorable, that also
Yeah.
we prepare, right? We prepared for this event, and everybody
Right.
does that preparation. But for unfavorable, what you are saying is कि हमको preparation ज़्यादा करनी है.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I think one affirmation or one thought that can help anyone save themselves from the misery is,
Mhm.
I am the pure awareness.
Wow.
I am not the body. I
Mhm.
am not the mind. I am not the pain. I am not the pleasure.
Mhm.
I am not the past. I am not the future.
Okay.
I am pure awareness. I am pure consciousness.
Mm.
And when we say this deliberately, with
Mm.
full faith, with full feeling,
Mhm.
we are going to connect with that higher power,
Mhm.
whichever we believe in. And if not the power, we are going to connect with the universal power. If we don't believe in God, then we are going to connect with that universal power.
Mhm.
And, that will help us understand how powerful we are.
Mm.
Because when we develop that sort of true relationship with that higher power,
Mhm.
then everything that's happening around us
Mhm.
is the observation that we are seeing.
Mm.
Rather than getting entangled inside it, that, oh
Mhm.
my God, such things are happening with me. My life is so miserable, and why this thing had to happen to me. Rather than getting consumed by such stories
Mhm.
and becoming very serious about what is happening with me,
Mhm.
I am just going to take a step back and observe it.
Okay. So this is the part of
Right?
the
Right.
preparation. This is what I'm doing before the event is going to take place.
Yes,
Got it.
yes. And now, when the event has taken place,
Mhm.
and somebody said something,
The trigger
now,
words, right? Something
right,
everybody
triggers.
has those trigger words, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. Now, if I am completely aware of my strength
Mhm.
and my value system,
Mhm.
right, in my professional environment, if I know what my values are,
Mhm.
and I know that other person's value does not align with me, that's why they will speak nasty,
Mm.
right? So if I am very much aware of it, then it will not impact me much,
Okay.
because I'm aware of my value system and my strength. But if I don't have any sort of awareness, if I have not done my homework, if I am not in attunement with my own self, if I am just working, and there is no time for me for any sort of personal development, then obviously I'm gonna either, get hurt, or my ego will be very badly hurt. And I'll be like, how dare they say like this?
I agree to that. But here, the point what you just called out, there is some kind of doubt in an individual, so that, so here I want to just double click on it. So what are the reasons that people suffer from this self-doubt? Like, okay, or maybe will I be able to?
Yeah, okay. Reasons for self-doubt. Okay. So I'm going to go a little bit in detail. So
Sure.
I would request the patience of the audience here. Okay. 3 reasons, according to me, for self-doubt. 3 major reasons. First is low self-esteem. Second, unconscious comparison. And third, fear of failing. Now, let's go deep inside each one of them and understand them from a different perspective, not from a bookish perspective that we have been reading it.
Correct.
Okay. So, low self-esteem. Now, if I have low self-esteem, then I can get triggered very easily by different situations in my life.
Oh, wow.
If I have low self-esteem.
Okay.
Right? But let's suppose I move on to a new project in my company, and I move on to a mid-level position. Okay, not a junior, not a senior one, but a mid-level one. And now I realize that there are 4 people already in that team who are so skilled at their job. And then I realize I don't even have those skills. So first I need to learn those skills. Then I'll be able to participate in the day-to-day activities of the project and feel competent with the other fellow members who are present in the project. So now there is double work that I have to do. I don't just need to perform the work, but first I need to spend some time learning those skills. So now if my self-esteem is low, then I will start to first feel very contracted and not expanded in that situation. The moment I'll see 4 of those seniors, working, and I get this trigger, I get this thought that, oh my God, I don't even have these skills. What am I going to do? It's just going to take me so much time to learn.
Right.
And, what will other people think of me? So my body is going to feel very contracted in that situation.
That is so true. I mean, that something is happening to me. I don't know, but something is happening to me. It can be, yeah. And guys, if you're listening, then give us a thumbs up here. If you're out there, if this is adding value, we want to know. Thank you. Over to you, Tanya. Yeah. All right. Nice.
So, how to overcome this low self-esteem?
Yep.
I want to give a formula today to everyone. Please take this very seriously. Okay. This is something I'm telling you from experience.
Yep.
What if you go to a situation and you want to not face self-doubt is?
Yep.
Just tell yourself that my value is based on my presence, not on my skills. My value is based on my presence. Just because I exist, that means, and just because that project has chosen me, there is already something of value inside me. So my value is based on my mere presence. That's it.
My value is based on my presence. Okay. My value is based on my presence.
Right.
Okay.
Then my value is based on my existence. Again, the same thing.
Okay.
Just because I exist, okay, I might not have those skills right now. I might not have that promotion right now, or I might not look as cool as other people in office, and I might not have that kind of social circle, but my value depends on my existence because I exist in this universe. So my value does exist.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I exist, because my existence. Okay. That is deep, but it's easy to do. It's
Right.
easy to do, Tanya. This is giving me instant energy here. I don't know about the audience here, if you are repeating with us or not, but if you aren't, time to repeat it. All right.
Right. Then my value is based on my energy. Okay. And where does the energy come from? It comes from our thought process. So if I am thinking positive thoughts, I will have a positive aura around me.
Okay.
So what if I keep telling myself that, Tanya, your value is based on your energy?
Okay.
Doesn't matter. You don't have that skill right now. Doesn't matter. You don't have that project in hand right now. Doesn't matter that you don't have that promotion right now. Doesn't matter. You don't have that social circle right now.
Doesn't matter.
Right. What matters is that your value is based on your energy. Just because you have that energy inside you, that in itself is a proof that you have so much of value.
Wow. This is easy to do, Tanya. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to put a wallpaper on my cell phone and write it down on my car steering and somewhere on the mirror, because I believe that I'm not doing something like that. And if I believe in this, which is so true. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I like this. I like this. And folks, if you like this as well, it's time to follow us. Follow us, go to our icon, go to our profile, follow Tanya Bhatia. All right. Thank you. Over to you, Tanya.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this was some of the ways to overcome the low self-esteem. Okay, I'll just say something in Hindi. I am sure there are some people who have logged in from outside, but okay, let me stick to English only.
Okay.
So wherever you go in your life, if you keep repeating that your value is based on your presence, just your presence, you don't have to do something extraordinary to impress anyone. Just because you exist, just because you have that presence, just because there is so much energy inside you. And who are we? We all are energy beings. So that means our value is there. There is value already inside us. Okay. Coming on to the second reason why people suffer from self-doubt is unconscious comparison. Again, I use the word unconscious.
Okay.
Now see, it's very difficult to get rid of this unconscious comparison in days or months.
Right.
Why? Because it's been fed and wired into our system since childhood.
Yep.
Even if your parents did not, demean you saying that, oh, that person is performing so well, why don't you learn this skill?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there are times when parents have that sort of awareness and they're very conscious in their parenting. But still, comparison exists. It exists in the school. It exists in the park that you go out to play. It exists in any extracurricular activity that you become a part of. It exists since your childhood. So now if you say that, oh, I'm not going to compare myself with anyone, that's very difficult. It's there inside your system already.
Yep.
Right? So how to get rid of it? So how to get rid of it is that when you say that, I doubt myself, that means there is a thought behind it.
Yep.
That I can't do XYZ. Okay, I can't do XYZ. So Prashant, if you say to me that, Tanya, can you drive this car? So I will say, no, I can't drive the car. I can't do it.
Okay.
So when I say I can't do it, somewhere there is this unconscious comparison that I am doing of myself with other people that I see on the road who are driving the car. I may not even have the realization, but it's basically the unconscious comparison I'm doing, because I can't do it means I can't do it as good as how other people are doing it. Okay. So what if today I ask you to take away your ability to compare yourself with anyone? So if you did not have any capability to compare yourself with anyone, neither you will have any self-doubt, nor you will have overconfidence.
Wow. It's easy to say, Tanya.
Right. That's why I say it's easy to say, because this comparison is fed into us since ages, like since childhood. We can't let it go just like that. We have to like practice it a lot.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I think
So,
once we start believing into it, it's like you are
right.
becoming that energy, which is not going to be get hurt easily. And
Right.
being transparent and honest also adds up to that. I just believe that if you have nothing to hide, then why are you
Right.
getting fearful or doubtful? If you're doing the right things, then why are you getting doubtful? So,
So
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Right,
And then we had the self-doubt point 2, unconscious comparison.
Comparison,
Okay, yeah.
right.
Mhm.
It's very essential to realize that unconscious comparison can come in and knock your door anytime. But become aware. And when you become aware, you will know that, okay, I'm comparing myself to other people unconsciously. Let me not do it right now. Okay? And tomorrow it can come to you in some other situation. So if you become aware, you can, then consciously get over it.
Yep.
Right? And I also believe that when you compare yourself negatively, that's the problem. But if you compare yourself positively, that means if I look up to some person who is able to drive a car and I get inspired, then what's the harm in that?
Yep. Totally
Right?
agree to that. Totally agree to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And guys, while you are out here listening to us, show us some love so that we know that this all conversation is adding value to you and helping you out. Show us some love. Folks, you can use the hands up button in a few minutes so that we can put you on the Q&A podium. If you have a question, you can start raising hands now. Yep. And do not hesitate to comment your question on this post as well. Tanya, over to you. Point number 3.
Yeah. So point number 3, why we suffer from self-doubt is the fear of failing.
Okay.
And this is little deep again. Many a times when we are procrastinating something, it's not because we are lazy. It's because we fear that we are not going to meet our own expectation of after completing that task. That is why we procrastinate, and that is the fear of failure.
You have to repeat that last statement, Tanya. I think that was very powerful.
Okay.
Yeah. We are
Fear of
procrastinating.
failure.
Yeah, procrastinating part.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. When we procrastinate, it's not because we are lazy. Like sometimes it can be, but not always. Many a times it's because we are expecting something out of us, and we know that once we finish that task, we are not going to meet that expectation. So we are going to be disappointed, and we don't want to be disappointed of ourselves. So that's why we don't even start that task. And that's why we procrastinate.
That is so true. And how do
Right?
we take care of this, Tanya?
Right. So if suppose I want to learn driving,
Okay.
learn car driving.
Okay.
And every day my friend says that, today I'm going to teach you car driving. Come, let's go.
Okay.
And I say, okay, not today, let me do it tomorrow. And then for 7 days, I'm continuously saying that. Now, if I look into my own self, I'll realize I'm not just saying it because I don't have time. I will show it to my friend that I don't have time, we'll do it later. But it's because I'm feeling little uncomfortable inside myself that what if I am not able to learn it smoothly? What if, I don't perform well while learning car driving? So because I am that perfectionist, so I don't want that I disappoint myself. And then if I come back after car driving, I'll be like, why I didn't do well? And, I'll have that uncomfortable feeling inside me. So it's important that I start to deal with that uncomfortable feeling rather than looking at learning how to drive a car. Because driving a car can wait. But if I tap into this feeling that what is making me so uncomfortable? So what is making me uncomfortable is that in my past also, there must have been some experiences where I tried to learn something new and I didn't live up to my own expectation and I felt disappointed. So that means I still have that inner child which is wounded inside me.
Oh, wow. That is so deep. That is so deep and that is so true. Most of
Right,
I just wanted to add small thing. My
right,
English teacher used to always say that you are not good in vocabulary. You need to learn the vocabulary and do this essay writing. And, that one was there with me for so long. And yeah, thank you
right.
for, I was able to relate to it, what you just called out, Tanya.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And many a times it's not something that we are instantly aware of. That,
Mm.
something happened like this with me in the past.
Mhm.
Sometimes you are not even aware. We have to like give ourselves time and let be with that thought that why am I so fearful of learning car driving? Right?
Mm.
And then something will come up regarding our past experiences where we will understand that the similar feeling was there in the past experience also,
Yep.
and we have to learn to deal with that feeling, and for the time being we have to just let go of learning that new skill.
So,
Whenever we are able to deal with the feeling and
mhm.
heal it, dissolve it inside us, integrate it, we can then we can say, okay, we have healed the inner child. Then if I go and start to learn car driving, I will be even more successful in doing that, because now my wounded child will not stop me.
Okay. So what you're saying is that if that feeling is the one which is slowing one down to take action, we need to deal with that feeling first. And
Yes.
how do we deal with that feeling?
Right. Okay. So
Mhm.
it requires a lot of healing work,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
We can do it ourselves through different methodologies,
Mhm.
or we can take help from someone who can help us navigate that. So,
Oh, I
right.
understand.
So
Mhm.
right. So I help people with the inner child healing work as well,
Mhm.
and as I say that many people who come for improving their confidence and courage, they don't have memories of such past experiences.
Mm.
But when we dig deeper and we go into the past, we realize that there are certain incidents which are lying there, just like
Mm.
a dead rat. And
Mm.
I give this dead rat example because, see, if there's a dead rat inside my house
Mhm.
and some guest comes,
Mhm.
okay, and I don't remove that dead rat from my house and it's stinking, I can
Mm.
put a lot of room freshener and make it all very good, and hide it somewhere,
Mhm.
and then nobody will realize that there's a dead rat in the house.
Mhm.
But for how long can I keep putting the room freshener? I
Mm.
will have to discard that dead rat.
Right.
So that is similar to the past experiences, which are sort of unconscious beliefs which hold us back in
Mm.
our present life.
Okay.
So unless and until we resolve those kinds of beliefs,
Mhm.
we will feel stuck at some point or the other in our life,
I
in
agree to
present.
that. I agree to that. And you know what? Folks have raised their hands for questions. So I thought that we will take them and then we can continue further. So
Sure, sure. Yeah.
yeah. So Priya is there. And Priya, you have 10 to 15 seconds to put your questions so that others can get chance as well. Over to you.
Yeah. Good evening, Prashant and Tanya. Tanya, it was an amazing session, very insightful. Thank you. My
Hi, thanks,
question is,
Priya.
yeah, thank you. My question is that how do we face the fear of judgment? Because that keeps haunting. I mean, if I do something, what would people say? I mean, that judgmental fear often haunts me. So how do I handle it?
Got it. Is there any particular situation, Priya, that you would like to share? Like,
Maybe not just anything in particular, but
hmm,
for any activity. I mean, to
hmm,
even start a conversation,
right,
I just have that hesitance. I kind of have a
right.
doubt if that how would people take it.
Okay, okay. Now, if I can ask you here, suppose you are starting a conversation with someone and you feel like how will they take it? Let's suppose you
Yeah.
start the conversation anyway and you are speaking to me, okay? And
Hmm.
please tell me what's the thought inside you at this very moment when you
Hmm.
speak to me and you are still thinking that what will she think, okay?
Hmm.
Instead of this thought, there is an underlying
Yeah.
thought in your mind. What is that thought?
I mean, like, would they think that I am not, how do I put it? Maybe I'm not good enough.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Right. What is your definition for being good enough?
Okay, it's a very good question, but yeah, I mean, to know
Right.
things better, to be in
So,
a
Priya,
better
I can give you
position.
direct
Yeah.
answers actually.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Right.
Yes, Tanya.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't hear you, Priya. Your
Is it
voice was
audible now?
breaking.
I mean,
I don't know whether it was my internet or yours.
no, I
Yes, yes.
said,
Could you just repeat your
okay,
definition
good
of
enough.
being
I
good enough?
meant, being able to handle situations better. Yeah, something like the being confident enough.
Right, right. Okay. So, Priya, what I see here is that as you talked about being able to handle the situations better. So, if you are just looking at enhancing your, communication skills in this regard, that people do not judge you, I would encourage you to look at your life in a holistic way,
Okay.
in your life wherever you take decisions, or in your life wherever you handle things.
Okay.
Okay, it could also be your personal life. It could also be when you're buying things at the grocery shop. It could also be when you are booking some tickets for flying somewhere. It could be just anything, or it could be how you handle things just on an overall level.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
the pattern here, which I see from your answer, is your definition of good enough is that how do people perceive me in terms of how I handle the situation,
Exactly.
right? So,
Yeah.
right, what you have to do in this case is you have to like really develop a very strong relationship with yourself, and that can take
Okay.
some time. Okay,
Okay.
so have patience and do not hurry at all. Give yourself, like I would say, give yourself 2-3 months where you go into a deep introspection mode and identify what all are the situations in your life where you feel that you're not handling them good enough.
Wow.
Okay,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and
Great.
and develop a very healthy self-esteem. Okay, don't look at confidence. Confidence is a very, I think sometimes we it's something very fake sometimes. Okay,
Yeah.
it's more about self-esteem. How does
Okay.
Priya look at herself? When Priya
Okay.
will look at herself in a very very positive light, nobody else can look at Priya in a negative light.
Wow.
Okay. I get
Okay,
that. Great.
so
Yes.
lot of self love, lot of healthy self esteem, and it will take time. And if during that process you encounter some of the wounds, if suppose that exist in your internal system while growing up, in your
Okay.
childhood years or any time in the past, it's very essential that you recognize them and you
Okay.
heal them. Okay,
Okay. Yeah, Tanya.
right? Yeah.
Great. Great. Thanks,
Yeah.
Tanya.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Priya.
much.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you
Thank
for
you. Thank you.
asking.
So we got Cecilia. Cecilia, over to you.
Oh, you can hear me. I'm having problems with internet at the moment. Hello, guys, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And wow, Prashant, this is a good, very effective program that you guys have had here. Thank you so much, Tanya. It was beautiful to hear you talk about the confidence, and and for me, confidence is very immune in me. I think I have too much of that, but I do have the confidence, but I shy away from proactive confidence. What I mean is that I do associate myself with people who are confident, as well as I do help people who aren't that confident. But my own confidence will just come out when it's better to support others. But I don't have confidence in initiating my support. So as a teacher for over 20... Yeah, sorry?
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. As a teacher for over 25 years, I've looked into helping and supporting people, but I don't have the confidence to go out and search for support. I do speak to people. I have confidence in talking on platforms. Of course, as a teacher, you always should be ready to talk and all of that. But I don't have the confidence to really request for myself when it comes to helping and supporting myself. Look, when we had the lockdown, I apart from teaching, I do own my own businesses and my charity. But then I know people, I talk to people, but how do I support myself? How do I ask for help? That is where I don't have the confidence. Asking for help.
Got it.
A very deep question here. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for asking that, Cecilia. I think a lot of people can actually relate to what you said, that you are always there. You have that confidence to help other people. But when it comes to asking for help from others, you are saying that you feel that you don't have that confidence, right? To ask for support from other people. Here, what I see is it's not the lack of confidence. It could be the lack of courage. So kindly unmute yourself and let me know if that's the lack of courage or is it the lack of confidence?
I'm not lacking confidence. I'm lacking courage to confidently approach people when it comes to asking for help or requesting for anything in my life. When it comes to, I have the confidence, but I lack the courage to say no. Say, for example, I lack the courage to initiate a rapport when it comes to something to do with myself and my image or anything that I want to apply myself in.
Now, see, Cecilia, here it's so evident. It's good that we have recognized it's not the lack of confidence, it's the lack of courage. And let's understand that in life, it's more or less, it starts with courage rather than starting with confidence. So, confidence is something, it's a feeling that's inside us, but courage is something that's about taking action. Okay? Confidence is that if you have done that one thing 5 times before, so you feel confident to do it again. But courage is that you don't have the ability to do that thing because that's something that you're doing so new in your life. So now, because you haven't taken help earlier in your life from people, now because you are initiating, you feel like, initiating, taking help from other people, and you're not able to do it. So it's the lack of courage, right? Because this is something that you're doing so new in your life. So now I want to ask you that what is the belief behind that I can't take help from other people? There is always a belief behind that. What if I take help from other people? What will happen? I want to ask you. Let's suppose you go out and you reach out to 2 people and you tell them why you need help and they say XYZ. Let's not bother about whether they respond positively or negatively. Tell me what could happen.
Okay, let me get this clear. I know that I do have a lot of energy, I do have a lot of confidence. But when it comes to the courage to approach things, I take my time to do that. It's not because I don't have the knowledge, something is new to me. No. It's not only because something is new to me. It is just something with me being very calm. Very I just feel that I feel very uncomfortable, let me say so, in creating a space whereby somebody will say no to me, or somebody will see me as too much because I have too much high energy, so people feel that, okay, she's got everything or she's okay. But they don't, deep within, I may be crying out for something. I may want somebody to talk to me about something that is going on. Let me give you an example. Like when it came to my son dropping out of 6th form, when he's an A-star student, I didn't know how to approach that. because it's never happened to me before. It's happened to other people that I have helped, I've supported. Their children have gone back to school, they are doing well. Their children have gone to work, I've given them work placements. I could do everything for their children, my friends' children, family's children. But then when it came to my son that is with me, is always with me, I know him very well, he talks to me, but then he decided not to say most of the things of the reasons why he doesn't want to go to school. I should be able to understand that he didn't go to school because he felt it was too boring for him, because all the subject areas, he's good at all of them. So they did not ignite anything in him that will make him want to stay.
Wow.
So, as a teacher myself and as a mentor for other young people, for back in Young Britain in the UK, I've been mentoring and teaching for years. So how did I approach that? People told me, other people that I know and friends and family have told me to do this, do that, do that. I did not want to do these things because I felt that I could have been able to help my son anyway.
Great.
So it took me the lockdown to now for me to be able to have that communication with my son and learned that he felt it was too boring for him. And we were approaching it differently. He has no mental health. He has not been seen to see anything, to have any autism or anything at all. So this is why I felt that I didn't have the courage to talk to him deeply.
So
Because
Cecilia, we
Yeah.
got that part of it. Yeah. So Tanya, you can take respond to that. And Cecilia, I really appreciate for opening up. And this is what is the power of this kind of events where we can ask those questions. We got 2 people in queue, so I just want to be respectful for that. Don't get me wrong. You can always connect to Tanya offline and get this thing more in detail. So yeah, Tanya, if you can briefly do that, then we have Santosh and Sheetal.
Right. Yes. So, Cecilia, now that you have already uncovered what was actually stopping you, you have recognized that the lack of courage came from not being able to face that discomfort. You didn't want to face that discomfort, and it's more about getting disappointed with your own self in terms of your role as a mother. It could be that. Okay. Now, again, since I would need to speak to you more to uncover all of this, I just want to say that there was a belief, there was a thought which stopped you from not being able to speak to your child regarding this. Okay. So whatever that discomfort was, write that down. That let's say that if you spoke to your child and something happened, what all could have gone wrong? What could have been the worst case scenario? Let's write all of those reasons down on a piece of paper, the worst case scenario. And that will help you to identify that, okay, these were the thoughts which were stopping me from, from being able to speak up. So let's understand, Cecilia, that in all the situations, the reason for not having the courage will be entirely different.
Yep.
Okay. In some other situation in your life, if you feel that you don't have the courage, it could be because of entirely different reason. So it's always better to go deeper into and recognize those beliefs which are stopping us from taking the action that we want to take. So how we can do that? By asking ourselves that what if we take the action, what worst can happen? And your mind will give you a lot of stories. Just write that down, unfiltered on a piece of paper, and you will recognize that. So your task will be to work on those mind games that your mind is telling you, rather than to work on the, speaking aspect or any other further aspect.
Great.
Right.
Thanks, Tanya.
Right.
Thank you, Cecilia. And I'm going to move the microphone to Santosh. Santosh Kumar, over to you.
Hey, thank you, Prashant. Hope I can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Prashant, for pulling me up and for this session, for conducting this session, and thank you for the inviting Tanya to this session. This is the first session I have attended, and I, like whatever she is, explaining all the things which is like she is telling to me only. Like there is a lot more things to good things to got to hear from Tanya. My questions to Tanya is since she said since you said some of the past wounds, because of those, like we can't move ahead in our life, and you talked about the inner child healing. So I was practicing the Reiki from past 1.5 year.
Okay.
Still I am feel myself like somewhere I'm not able to connect with myself. uh, what might be the reason? I'm not able to figure it out. So could you put some light on that?
Right. Okay. So, thank you, Santosh, for sharing that. And since I myself practice Reiki, I've learned just the level 1, so I can understand what you must be going through. Uh, I would say that, different modalities that we learn, Santosh, everything has its own perspective and everything has its own importance. So, if you say that you're not able to connect to yourself, uh, that means you need to do a little bit more of the mindset work on yourself, because Reiki is based on energy healing. So it does the work if we have that faith, right? If we have that faith and understanding and deep awareness of our own self. But if you feel that awareness, that deeper connection is missing, I would recommend you to do a lot of introspection work, a lot of writing work, so you connect with yourself and ask yourself a lot of questions and about your good memories and not so good memories. And when you become very comfortable with writing everything unfiltered on a piece of paper, you will start to know yourself better. Okay, so let's suppose you write about your strengths, so you write about your weaknesses. This is what we usually talk about. But what if I say you go back to your past and you identify those moments where you felt very uncomfortable and where you went through a lot of emotions, and I ask you to put down all the emotions on a piece of paper, like guilt, self-doubt, or shame, or you can say stress or anxious or resentment. There are a lot many emotions. So I would encourage you to pick up each and every emotion and create the list of those experiences in your life where you actually felt that emotion. Okay, and write that down. That which ways you'll be able to connect with yourself even more.
And also, you know what? Just to add that on that one, Tanya, is sometimes, just journaling, writing is good in a very organized way, as Tanya mentioned. But just at the end of the day, just keeping a habit that how did your day go, just writing it down. There is a lot of data to go back and see if you're getting better and to introspect, retrospect in this thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Tanya. I have one last question. Like, Tanya, in our day-to-day life or in our life, somewhere we used to, face some bad situation or the thing like it is which is, very tough time, or so just we used to think of we should just pass, let God gives us the pass this time. So how one should like make himself or herself to just to pass over that particular time, how we get that strength, or
Okay.
Got it.
Right. I would say we get a lot of strength, first of all, by becoming aware of our own triggers, and second is by doing a lot of mindset work, which is about reprogramming our subconscious mind. But again, I would like to put a filter here that we can work on, positively reprogramming our subconscious mind only when we have, healed something from our past which keeps bothering us. Okay, now many people say that in law of attraction means like attracts like. So if you think positive, you will attract positive experiences in your life. But somebody who is in a lot of depression, if you ask them to go and sit in a state of meditation or think positive, they will not be able to do it. They will like feel so uncomfortable. Why? Because they have not healed from their past. So then just putting positive words inside them is not going to help. So positivity only helps when we have resolved our negative beliefs from the past, or some of the wounds from our past, or some of the experiences which keep hampering our productivity, not on a daily basis, but maybe, once in a while. And right. So when you do that and then you start reprogramming your subconscious mind, you will see a lot of improvement in yourself, that your resilience will improve, your tolerance power will improve when you face such uncomfortable situations. And one thought that you can keep reminding yourself is that just take it as an experience. Anything that happens, no matter how uncomfortable or painful it is, like we all are this character in this movie called life. And
So true.
right.
Yeah.
So the director, or the universe or the god, keeps giving us either heroes or heroines in our life, or the villains. So villains are these uncomfortable or painful situations. So now if we get too engrossed in them and feel that, oh, this is so bad and all of this is happening with me, we are going to get even more consumed with it, right? So whenever we are facing any uncomfortable situation, it is essential for us to identify what emotion are we going through, and never do emotional invalidation to yourself. When some people say that, you are thinking too much, don't think so much negative, chalta hai, and life is like this, why are you so sensitive and why are you so emotional? If people say that, don't let anyone invalidate your emotions, and don't even invalidate your own emotions, because that is very harmful in the long run. So become very aware of each and every emotion you go through, and just take it as an experience and don't resist it.
Yep.
So if today I am feeling a lot of stress and I resist, that why am I feeling a lot of stress? I have been meditating for such a long time. I should not feel stressed. Now, if I feel like this, that why am I feeling stressed out? I'm going to feel even more stressed out because I'm stressing too much about being stressed. But if I just allow that experience to happen and I don't resist it, and I tell myself, okay, I'm feeling stressed. It's okay. Let me feel stressed. Let me feel it. And I will allow myself to feel that actually. You will see that if you allow yourself to feel that situation rather than running away from it, in some time, it will automatically subside and it will dissolve. So the more you resist, the more it is going to persist. So don't resist anything. Just allow yourself to go through that experience, and know that every experience is there to teach you a lesson. And unless and until you learn that lesson, universe is going to throw more and more such situations in your life. But the moment you learn your lesson, you will see those situations not happening to you anymore, and those difficult people not entering in your life anymore. So, yeah.
Just to add on that one, Tanya, as you mentioned that analogy where, we are all characters in a movie. So if you just see all blockbuster movies, you will see the villain of the movie is very powerful. The protagonist have to defeat that big villain to become the hero of that story. And that's what, over to you, Santosh. Thank you for your question. I hope this helped.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, thank you for asking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheetal, you've been waiting so long. Thank you so much. Over to you now.
Okay. Yeah, hi Prashant, hi Tanya. So finally I got the chance to speak.
Hi Sheetal. Yeah.
Hi. So firstly, I'd like to say, I just love this session. I loved it how, you got deeper into the reasons of self-doubt. I just loved it. So Tanya, my question is, I'm very curious to know, what's your journey of becoming a confidence coach? How you decided, yes, you want to be a coach and this is something you can help people with. I am very curious to know that how you jump into this. Like, firstly, you decided, that you want to be a coach, or you directly jump into on confidence coach. Yes, I want to be a confidence
Okay.
coach.
Okay. Very good
Yeah.
question. And thank you for asking. So, Sheetal, I
Yeah.
started my journey as a software engineer. And
Okay.
I was very good with academics, and things like were happening. But when I used to be in that technical work, I never felt a sort of calling. Like there was never a soul satisfaction in that case, right? And I was always pulled towards those situations where I could interact and have some meaningful conversation with people. And then what happened is I thought that I will jump into the role of communication or soft skills, and all of that happened. And I thought I found my calling. But after practicing it for 2 years, I realized that there was more to it. So during my journey starting from 2014-15, there were some times in my life where I faced some situations, and I was going through some emotions where I was not able to understand how to resolve them, and I faced some anxiety issues also at that time, right? So that's where my journey of understanding myself on a deeper level happened. And I realized that it's all the mind game. If we get stuck in the mind game, and it is going to cause us a lot of physical health issues as well. And when we actually start seeing our physical health getting deteriorate, then we realize that how much important it is to take care of our emotional well-being. So I discovered how to take care of myself and different things. I studied, and then when I professionally learned all of this, there was a lot of awareness happening in that case, and I understood that I find so much happiness when I speak about personal development, and I'm able to help people, not just because of some bookish knowledge that I have, but also because of my own experiences. Like I see things very deeply. Like from my childhood, I see that anything that I see, anything that I feel it very deeply, and I'm able to like understand it at a very deeper level. So I think I understood that that's something, my strength. God has given me that ability to be more sensitive, to be more intuitive, to be able to feel the depth of it, to be able to realize things and observe people, observe situations. And that's how I feel that I just love my work, and that's how I came into this, right?
Wow. Great.
That's really amazing. It's something relatable, when we go through a lot of things, and then we came to know that throughout this journey we have learned a lot, and this is something we can, teach people. So, Tanya,
Right.
one more question. I want to ask, like you said, you have gone through this journey, and then you realize, that you can teach this to people, because you have experienced a lot, right? So, in personal development, there are lots of niches, right? So, how
Right.
you narrow down your niche that you want to be a
Mhm.
confidence coach? Because in life coach, there are a lot of niches.
Right. Right.
Yes.
So I mostly help people with confidence, courage, and a lot of emotional healing. And I think it all comes down to what you're able to do effortlessly. Okay, so for me, I did not have to think about what's my niche. It just came to me very naturally when I sat down and answered a certain number of questions, that how can I help people, what am I good at, where do I find my self very confident that okay, here I will be able to produce results. And I think that comes from personal experience. Anything that you have experienced yourself, you have more understanding about it. And any sort of book, any sort of certification does not teach you what your life experiences can teach you. And as I told you, that I observe things very deeply. I am just able to feel things very deeply. And I have observed this thing in me from my childhood. Like when I was 3 or 4 years old, I would feel things very deeply. And people around me would say that you're very mature for your age. How do you think like that? So, and I would get very emotional at certain circumstances also. And I felt that that's my weakness because I got very sensitive and very emotional, seeing the pain of other people. But then as I grew up, I realized that that's something, my superpower. Sensitivity doesn't have to be your weakness. It is your superpower, because in a world where people are running away from their emotions and numbing it, right? If you are able to feel it, that's something, there's a higher purpose to it. You have to utilize it. So I think, Sheetal, it came very naturally to me. Like I just found that, yeah, this is something that I will be able to help people with.
Wow.
Right.
Thanks, Tanya.
Yeah, that's really
Thanks,
amazing.
Sheetal.
Tanya. You answered my question.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
All right. So
Yeah,
here we
thank
have,
you.
thank you, Sheetal. And Andy, over to you. Tanya, this is going to be our last question. Over to you, Andy. How's it going? Okay. Andy dropped, but generally Andy has this question that what books are you reading? And if you have any book recommendations, so what are those? Tanya?
Okay. Right. Okay, so right, so right now I have prepared a list of some of the books. Let me just share the list that I prepared. Although I have read a lot of books in the last few days, but I want to get over this thing that I procrastinate a lot in terms of reading books, and I think it also comes that I want to be perfect with starting a book and finishing it. So these days, instead of reading a lot of personal development books, I've been reading Dan Brown books, I would say, because I like a lot of fiction and thriller pieces. But one simple book that I would recommend people to read is very simple one here is The Magic. Okay, not going into too much details of what I have prepared for this year, what I'm going to read. I have to go to my notes, and I've prepared the list of 10 books. But this book is something that I recommend everybody to. And that's about very simple things that you can change in your life is feel the feeling of gratitude. And I think it's people will say it's so cliche, every time we are talking about gratitude. But I see when I actually speak to people say, yeah, I practice gratitude, but nothing is happening. But they are really not practicing it, right? If you truly want to experience gratitude, feel it and immerse yourself in the power of gratitude. It's one of the best medicines you can have. And even if you're taking medicines for any of your physical ailments, you will get rid of those medicines if you truly immerse yourself in the feeling of gratitude. So
I agree.
Every single moment, have gratitude, and don't just have it for the sake of having. Immerse yourself into it, swim into the pool of gratitude, and you will find your life changing.
Absolutely, Tanya. And just to add to that one, when people say that nothing is happening, that also they need to dig deep down and say that, just because you are practicing gratitude, nothing bad continued or nothing worse happened. So at times people forget that, it's not just that you're going to get a superpower if you practice gratitude. It also helps you get into those potholes. Majority of the ailments, as you mentioned, is because of you think that way, you get triggered by some thoughts, you get angry, sad emotion, your liver overworks, your pancreas overworks. And then that's why a person A has a different lifestyle, a different mindset, and a person B thinks differently. And we spoke about not to compare, but we have to acknowledge who is what, because we still have to call a lion and a bird, and there is no right wrong. So I wanted to add to that one, Tanya. So,
Wonderful.
You know what? Please continue.
Just one thing I want to add in relation to what you said. This one book, You Can Heal Your Life by Louis Hay, is a fabulous book. And I feel that everyone must read it. I see so many people unaware about how their mind is causing so much of problems in their life, and then they are popping pills inside their body, diabetes and hypertension, blood pressure, and so many things. And I think when they reach a certain point, like 50s or 60s, it's very difficult to change their conditioning and belief system and tell them that now if you take control of your life and you can get rid of these medicines. It is not an instant process, but you'll have to put efforts to take care of your well-being. But at that point, it's very difficult for people to even realize that, oh, something like that can happen. But I want to tell somebody who is listening and ready to change their life, you don't have to believe that just because everybody in your family has suffered from a particular disease, so you are also going to get it and you are bound to get it, you can do nothing about it. No, it's not like that. You take the charge of your life in your hand right now, and you can heal, because your body is very intelligent. It has the capability to heal. You just have to allow that capability to unfold, that you can heal yourself.
You can. Yes, you can. And Tanya, it was a 40 minutes event, and it has lasted, I think, another 40 minutes. But this is all because of the audience, because they are staying here, they are listening and seeking value. All what I'm asking here is that put a comment on that post, because the purpose here is to unlock as many people I can by getting these guests. The reach of these posts will get those people who are in need. And at times, when things in stress and the right skill, the right message, the right information is not reached to the right person, there where I fail in my purpose. So, Tanya, we are towards the end of this event. I have taken little notes here, and I just thought, I'm going to just read it back. So, low self-esteem, unconscious comparison, fear of failing are few things which are holding one back. Self-doubt is another one, and there is a remedy to that. My value is based on my presence. My value is based on my existence. Value deepens on my existence, and other gratitude things, what you called out, Tanya. Thank you so much for being a guest here and enlightening so many lives. Everybody who follows us, we will try to see if we can share the recording with everyone, because you know what? Some messages are not gone in the first go. It will be here. Thank you so much, Tanya. It's great hearing you, and I hope everyone enjoyed that. Show us some love here.
Thank you, Prashant. And I want to say one thing before we end is there are 4 beliefs I want everybody to drop it right now in order to live a better life. The first belief is that you must win others in order to survive. Okay, and this is very common, especially in the corporate world. We think we have to win others if we want to survive. If today you drop this belief, believe me, your life is going to be very easy as compared to if you are drowning yourself in this belief. You have to win others in order to survive. Please drop this belief. Second is, struggle is always a painful process. Because from our childhood, it's been taught to us that life is not all bed of roses, and it is full of struggles, and it will not be all easy. When struggle comes, we take it like we make it even more struggle for us, because we feel that struggle is a painful process. What if today you just let go of this belief that struggle is a painful process, and you just embrace that struggle is just meant to be an experience for me, right? So we can drop this belief. A third thing, that you must not rest, because abundance will stop flowing to you. Many people have this belief, especially this hustle culture, that I need to keep working, and I cannot take more than 2 days of break. I can't go out for vacation. Something will happen. My productivity will decrease, and abundance will stop flowing to me. No, you must rest in order for abundance to flow. Because in every human being, there is masculine and feminine both. And feminine describes that you must rest. So abundance does not stop flowing if you rest. So please rest in order to attract more abundance. And the last belief that I want you to let go is, that that you must blame others if something goes wrong in life. No, don't blame others. If today you take responsibility that if anything goes wrong in my life, it's going to be because of my own self. See how effortless your life is going to become. So, yeah, these are the beliefs that you all can draw from your life. And Prashant, I also want to say that
Sure.
from 13th of this January, I'm running a small WhatsApp community, and I'll be starting audio coaching there for like 5 or 7 days on how to elevate your career using the mindset. So if anybody would be interested, they want to get like value, they can contact me and join that.
Absolutely. And that's where value becomes more valuable, because this event doesn't end here. It is the beginning for you be more confident and more courageous of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the globe, thank you for staying throughout, and I hope it was valuable. You have a great evening or morning or wherever you are, and we talk to you in our next event. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you so much.